Sports Shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcall DT. I hope you're having yourselves a great morning this morning. Happy Friday, happy TGIF, happy weekend to my peoples out there. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. If you're not, we're going to make it better. If you are, we're going to keep rocking and rolling with it. So, Cafe Kubal Studios, you know what it is. Get yourself some Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup up. I don't care how big your cup is. Fill it up with some Cafe Kubal today. And you can also get the travel cups and the travel opportunities there. The travel thermos that I have for Cafe Kubal. So I should show that off today. But make sure you go out to Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, as well as on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, where Rob Drummond and I went live earlier this week and got some chocolate chip banana bread and some mint chai. And you could also find them inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital, as well as their coffee being poured right now, this morning, and every Monday through Saturday at PB&J's Lunchbox on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. So a lot of great stuff with Cafe Kubal. So excited to have you here this morning, and I thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We have a jam-packed show for you inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics on the day. We'll start things off as we always do with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. That'll be coming to you from Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Big shout out to Jim Sikowski and the crew. And that will be featuring my co-host, Miss Juanita Ward, on a simple topic today that reads one word: breathe. And we'll get into what that means today. Top Dog of the Week will be announced at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Camp Dog Boarding, with a nice bark from Lily to give us her approval. There we go. Thank God I don't speak for a living. And we'll round out today's show with some Marywood University basketball news coming from the Marywood Pacers women's basketball head coach, Miss Jen Carleton, as she rejoins Pacer Pride to speak on her team building, recruiting, adding 2 new additions here in this new semester, and where they're going from here. So the positivity and the rising of Marywood women's basketball, who have done some phenomenal things this season on a short roster. And as Jen's out there recruiting and doing what she can, very excited to see that the success that they can build off this year is, I think, ahead of the game, in my opinion. So definitely excited for Jen, excited for Marywood women's basketball, and excited to bring you this exclusive Pacer Pride conversation. So a lot of awesome stuff coming up. Very much looking forward to talking with you today. So thank you so much for being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Shout out to Michael. Good morning to you. SU Duke on tap this weekend. How can SU win? Well, this is the thing about Syracuse. They play up to their competition, right? They play up to their competition. They play down to their competition. So, how can Syracuse win? It's basic things that they don't do a lot, which run offensive plays, set screens, pick and rolls, move the ball around, pass the ball, do it quickly. Do what's done to you, essentially. Do what's done to you that works with you. Utilize the high post to your advantage. Get the ball inside to Jesse. You got a center who's good. You got a center who can actually score the ball. You got a center who can be an offensive presence, which is something that Syracuse doesn't commonly have. So utilize Jesse, utilize the high post, hot potato the ball around, make sure you're constantly moving, pick and rolls, set screens, open the offense up. Don't just come down the floor, chuck up a 3 early in the shot clock. Don't just come down the floor, hand the ball off and not even pass it, just hand it into someone's chest and let them shoot. Don't play that game. Also, play the hot hand. Also, utilize Symir as a true point guard to your advantage. Also, defensively, do what you did in this last game against Clemson. I saw Syracuse so active on the defense. 2-3 zones only work when a team is willing, because you're not guarding a player, you're guarding a zone. You're guarding an area. That's why it's called the zone. So, I played basketball pretty much my whole life. So understand that I understand 2-3-3-2, box and 1, 1-3-1, man-to-man. So what they need to do in the 2-3 zone is be as active as they were against Clemson. They have to be able to run to the ball. Jesse got to the corner as a center to block a 3. Awesome play. And they need to protect around the rim. They've done a very poor job this season of protecting the baseline and protecting around the rim. So if those are a couple things that could be helpful for you, and we could get into that. And then, Michael, I know you wanted to know about the fine here to Bruce Arians. I watched the video. Bruce went over. Looks like he yells at his player, and he slaps him on the helmet and kind of like, it looks like he's trying to get him away from the ref. Like, don't get yourself in trouble. Don't cost us a stupid penalty. I understand his frustration if that's what it was. Like, hey, don't be an idiot. Let's go. Let's move. But I'd probably go over there, and I know it's in the heat of the moment, and I don't know how they would react to me being calm, but I would go over to him and kind of grab him by the shoulders and be like, hey, stop. Like, don't let this be something that costs us something later on in the game. Like, just don't be stupid. Don't do this now. I wouldn't slap anybody or push anybody because to me, I had a coach in high school for basketball, and the way that he treated me, and for me, it wasn't even warranted. I hadn't done anything. It was a comment that was ridiculous that was made toward me. And my reaction to it was kind of like, yeah, come on, like, don't lie about it. And his reaction to me was to get in my face. And I'm a senior in high school. And he's nose to nose with me. And he's got me up against the locker in my face. And I just remember thinking, I have absolutely no desire to ever play. Like, I have no desire to be around this person. I don't. Like, I love my team. And even to this day, I can feel that. I'm like, I wouldn't quit because I love my team. And I'm not a quitter. He just, to this day, like, he was a horrible coach. And so I don't even remember anything he coached. That's how sad it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even remember what he taught me. So I remember that moment. And so I think as a coach, you can't slap a player, push player, like hit a player in the helmet. Like, I'm not down for that. So to me, I would have not done that. Do I think it's worth $50,000? No, not at all. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's way too much of a penalty for like but at the same time, would I do it? No. Dallas Cowboys fans, classy or trashy? I'm not going to take an entire fan base and knock an entire fan base. I'm going to say that there are fans in each fan base that I would say I have met fans from multiple fan bases of high school, college, and pro that are not fans. I call them fanatics. There's a difference between fans and fanatics. Fans are people who support you no matter what, and they're there for you. Fanatics are people who go to games and just let off steam about their life, that they're actually pissed off about something else, but they can't seem to like function or have any control, so they just go ballistic. So that's kind of my assessment of that, my reaction to that. There are fans that are there's people that are fans, and there's people that are ridiculous human beings, and I call them fanatics. And I don't, and that's not a compliment. That's like you go to a game, you're totally disrespectful, you're rude, maybe you had a fight with your wife and you're taking it out on the point guard. So I am not going to say Dallas fans or any fans because whenever you put people in a group, it's not good, right? It's how we get prejudice. It's how we get racism. You don't put people in a group. You don't put everyone in a box. Hey, if everybody that looks like that is like this. Everybody that talks like that is like this. Everybody that makes that money is like this. Everybody that likes that team is like this. No, you can't do that. That's why we are where we are as a society right now. That's why. So I will tell you that there, I'm sure, are fans with Dallas that, maybe aren't the kindest. And I would tell those people to be a fan and not a fanatic. But I would say that about Syracuse fans. I would say that about Duke fans. I'd say that about anybody. Like, there was people at the Dome that are Syracuse fans that were screaming out some really disrespectful kind of, it was kind of sad and disparaging to like hear some of the people talk the way that they talk. And I'm sitting here going like, this is my hometown and this is how you speak. So, I would say all fan bases have their own issues, and I don't think it's the team. I think it's people. Some people are not nice. That's what I would say. And then final one that we had coming in. These are just topics that are coming in here. I want to get to them before we jump into the annoying moment. Thoughts on Syracuse women's and Syracuse men's lacrosse teams? I'm excited. I'm excited. You're excited. You're hopeful on what's to come this season. I'm excited to see what they can do. It's going to be interesting. Gary Gate as the men's coach, not the women's coach anymore, and the women with a new coach. I'm excited to see what's going to happen and what it's going to look like. So, I would tell you that my reaction is excitement. So that's what I would say. And with that being said, we're going to hop into the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and it's here for you right now and exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We've had the annoying moment of the week. I want to try and gauge this. And we've had it for 11 years. I think this is the 11th year of the annoying moment of the week. So with that being said, let's jump in to our longest standing segment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the annoying moment of the week, or as I call it, AMOW.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like. My annoying moment of the week this week is bad customer service, or I'll call it customer disservice. How about that? When you call someone and you try to get something of a positive, response or thoughts or something of that notion, there are people that do not practice good customer service. And I have experienced that. And I feel like, in the world we live in today where people feel like they don't have to go to work and they don't have to get a job and they can just stay at home and make money, like, that's created that I feel like some people are like, okay, you know what, I'll get a job. And then like the first sign of any type of strife or any adversity, they quit. See, when you give people something for free that they don't have to work for, do you know what that does to society? It makes people think they're owed something. And when they have adversity, when they have adversity, they will not respond well to it because you gave them something without them having to work for it. So if you gave somebody something without them having to work for it, they're not going to appreciate it as much, and arguably, and they're going to potentially walk away when times get tough. So that's something that I need people to realize, and I need people to see that and understand that, is that life is about, it's not, I don't want people to have strife. I don't want people to have tough times, Tough times build character, though. Strife builds character, adversity builds character, and it helps you know who you are. It helps you know, what you can do, how you respond to stuff, right? You put people in a pressure cooker. If somebody had a situation where their whole life was sunshine and rainbows, you may never know who they are or what they're capable of. But if you put them in a situation where it rains a little bit, now you know. Are they truly a positive person, or are they only a positive person because of circumstance? Are they truly a person who knows how to handle adversity, right? I always think about if there was a zombie apocalypse, right? There's a zombie apocalypse, there's a meteor coming, right? Something like that. I always tell people, like, doomsday scenario, who would you want to be with? Doomsday scenario of the people that you know, who would you want to be in a trench with? Who would you want to be in a house with? Who would you want to be trying to figure things out with? Who do you trust to be a part of your circle if the world just had like a huge moment where nobody knew what to do? Okay, think about the pandemic. Who would you want to be trapped in a house with for a year, for 6 months? Who would you want to be in a house with? Who would you feel safe being in a house with? Who would you feel that being in a house with wouldn't drive you crazy? That's something that I think about. That's something that I genuinely think about. And yeah, Greg was saying he was curious. Amau is 11 years old. So but I mean, when you look at this, that's what I think about. Who would you want to be with if all you know what broke loose? And I think for me, realizing that in today's world, people were already selfish. Not everybody. Obviously not everybody. I don't consider myself a selfish person. People were selfish. And there's a lot of people I know I don't consider selfish. People were selfish, and then within the last 2 years, they got more selfish. You know? I understand people are out of work. You give them money. You help them live because they can't go to work. But now that they can, you got to stop giving that money away. You have to stop. And I'm not trying to get political here. I'm trying to get real. Because if people don't have, people already did not have personal responsibility, and people were already selfish. So if you take people that were already selfish and already didn't have personal responsibility, and then you give them more of a reason to be selfish and not be personally responsible, now you're creating a culture of people who don't care. A culture of people who don't think that they do anything wrong. A culture of people who think that no matter what happens, they're supposed to get something. A culture who believes that an A and a C and an F on a paper are the same grade. Because at least I tried. Right? At least I tried. You can't give a trophy to 15th place. You can't. You can't. I mean, you can. You shouldn't, is a better way to put it. You shouldn't. Because you're creating people who believe, they start to pathologically believe that mediocrity is okay. That doing a little bit is okay. I don't have to finish the project. I just have to start the project. No, you have to finish the project. Okay? Because if the people building your car didn't finish the project, you don't have a car to drive in. You wouldn't want somebody to build half your house and not put a roof on it. So think about life like that. Why do you expect everybody else to do a full job, but you don't have to? That's something that I think people don't think about day to day because people that are selfish don't think about that. They don't think that far ahead. They don't think that much through. They think, hey, life is easy for me, so who cares about anybody else? And that's not how you can think, and that's not how you should live your life. You should care about everybody else. You should. It should matter to you the well-being of the people around you when you're driving in a car. You should care about how your actions and your decisions and your words can affect other people. You should have personal responsibility. Someone should have taught you better, And if they haven't, then it's up to society and those leaders in society to lead and teach people better. I don't expect everybody to know how to be personally responsible. I don't expect everybody to know that. Because I know that that's not the case. But in everyone not knowing that, it doesn't mean we can't teach them. It doesn't mean they can't learn. It doesn't mean we don't try. And I think in our society right now, we've gotten to a point where we've become complacent with mediocrity. I feel like we're heading toward a society where there's no grades in school anymore. Just everybody gets an A. Because you can't upset anyone and you can't make anybody feel triggered. And that's ridiculous, okay? It's people have to build cars for you to drive. People have to put a roof on your house for you to be able to sleep in it, right? People have to make clothes in factories so that you can wear things. Somebody has to work their behind off. And if everybody thinks, well, it doesn't have to be me, then it's going to be nobody. Don't you understand that? If you point the finger, eventually the circle comes around the world and the finger's pointing back at you and nobody's done anything. Somebody has to break the chain. Somebody has to break the mold. We're a society of hardworking people. I come from central New York and Syracuse. We are a blue-collar town. We work our behind off. We don't expect people to hand things to us. Not the people that I know, not me. Nobody handed me anything. My career was built out of thin air. It was God and I in a trench every day. So, what I understand about life is if you want it, you got to go get it. It's not going to be at your doorstep, right? Life is not Amazon Prime. It's not. But we think it is because it's gotten so easy. I don't have to go to the library and look something up. I don't have to tell somebody I don't know. I just go on Google. They just give me information, right? I can find everything in real time, stats in real time. If I want something, Amazon will bring it to my doorstep. We live in a microwave society. Why does it take a minute for my oatmeal? It's got to be done now. I don't have a minute. I got a second. I got a millisecond. I got to go. That's the society we're living in. And we used to laugh at places like China where people would literally sleep in shelves at work and then just go back to work. They wouldn't even go home. They would work, sleep for 2 hours, go back to work. We laugh at that, but that's who some of us have become. And then other people have become sloths. And there's no happy medium of like, go to work, do your best, take a break, go on vacation, spend time with your family. Mental health is so important, but the irony of our country is we talk about the importance of mental health while we're practicing teaching people to not be responsible and to not live in a community, which is against mental health. So, because, when you're in a room, okay, there's a reason why solitary confinement is a bad thing, right? It's not a good thing. Solitary confinement is a bad thing. And what happened at the beginning of the pandemic? For some of us, solitary confinement. What went up? Addiction. What went up? People overdosing. They were by themselves. So you got to understand, some people have a good home life and some people are a victim in that area. Some people being locked in a house means being locked with an abusive parent, being locked with somebody who is constantly fighting with them in a marriage. And some people had addiction. Some people had bad habits. Some people didn't know how to function alone. Some people are, a lot of people are creatures of habit. And you change their habit, you change their whole life. Some people are, ADHD. Some people are OCD. They have to have things said a certain way. And when you think about that, they couldn't get their cup of coffee in the morning. They could throw out their entire life. Because to some people, they have to remain structured. So there's a reason why solitary confinement is considered a punishment. A society is not supposed to sit at home and do nothing. A society is not supposed to have all the houses on the street locked and nobody going outside. That's not a good society. That's why people go crazy. So I would tell you that what we're doing and where we're trending, I would say to the leaders of our world, I would say to the leaders of our country, I would say to the President of the United States, the Vice President, the governors, the mayors, the, chief of police, and so on and so forth. I would say to everybody that's out there trying to lead and protect, to all the firefighters, the first responders, we have an obligation to serve each other, to serve one another, to serve our community. We have an obligation to be together. We have an obligation to build. We can't asexually reproduce, right? We have to be together to have children. We have to be together to have a team sport that you can all watch. We have to be together to run an assembly line. We have to be together to build a car. We have to be together to build a house. Maybe I could build a house by myself. Take a long time. So, it's like nothing about our society right now is screaming mental health. It's actually promoting mental health to your face while doing everything to be against it behind your back. And I think that people need to see that. People need to get over the whole, I'm going to follow whatever's told to me. I'm going to be glued to this screen and I'm just going to be mesmerized and I'm going to do whatever they say to me to do and I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do. That's not healthy. Okay? I tell people all the time, you can fact check me. I'm not going to come here and lie to you. If I'm not confident about something, I need to look it up. Okay? If I'm like, I think Dino's won. I think Dino in 2 years was, let me think about this. So I think Dino in 2 years was 6-17, but I should check it because I'm not sure. Okay, he was. All right. What if I said he was 6-18? Okay. Then I'm wrong. I'm off by 1. Now, I'm not saying that you need people to nitpick your life. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that I could come here and say Dino Babers is undefeated. And there's some people out there in this world that would go, okay, Dan, I believe you. You need to take control of your own life, right? And I think that I'm president and CEO of my company. I don't take that lightly. I consider myself to be a leader. And in being a leader, and it's funny because our next segment is LEAD, which is an acronym, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. But to be a good leader, you have to understand that your job is to aid people up a mountain, not down a mountain, not 6 feet under, but to aid them up a mountain. Your job as a leader is to lead. It's to create an avenue, a path of positivity, a path that even despite there being adversity, you're going to make it through. Leaders they have an obligation to serve the people, not themselves. They have an obligation to serve the people, not just themselves. I'm not saying don't be good to yourself. Let me rephrase. A leader has an obligation to not just serve themselves, but to serve the community. And if you don't want to be a leader, if you don't want to serve, then you shouldn't be doing that. And thank you, Ross, saying have a great show. Love you, buddy. So, to me, where we are now as a society, it's my annoying moment of the week because we are deteriorating as a society. And look around you, okay? It's hard to find people to go to work because they don't want to because they're getting free money. That's not fair to a local business owner who's a leader. It's hard for nurses and CRNAs and doctors who have to work shift on top of shift on top of shift and work 24 hours, 48 hours, not get any sleep. Again, that's a form of torture. Keeping people awake is a form of torture. But you have nurses and CRNAs and doctors who are not sleeping because there's not enough people that are working. Not because they're out with COVID, but because they don't want to go to work. So, I look at the snow and I'm looking at, okay, plows. I remember as a kid, plows were out 3-4 times a day if they had to be. Now I'm like, did a plow even come out once today? Well, it's hard to find workers. So we live in a society that forgot how to serve each other, forgot how to be personally responsible to each other, forgot how a hand washes the other hand. I do not care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care if you're independent. I don't care if your party's named the Skittle Party. I don't care if it's the Grilled Cheese Pancake Party. I don't care what it is. What I care about is, do you take care of your household? And are you a positive member of society? Do you give? Because, on Martin Luther King Day, we all put up quotes about service, right? But for a day. Oh, Martin Luther King. Some of us put it up because we thought we had to. It's Martin Luther King Day. I got to put something up. The quote that I put up by Martin Luther King, I'm going to read it to you. This is what I put up for Martin Luther King. This was the quote that I used. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate. Adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. If you want better, do better. Stop waiting for your neighbor to shovel out your driveway. Stop waiting for everybody else to give you something. Service to others is what is truly rewarding. Think about it. If your parents didn't serve you, you'd be dead right now. You didn't know how to eat. You didn't know how to walk. You didn't know what to do. They had to serve you. They had to help you. They had to give to you. Or else you would have nothing. Your teachers had to teach you. If they quit on you, you could be, doing heroin in an alley right now. But they didn't give up on you. People have been serving you and providing their time, energy, your whole life, arguably. The business owner that hired you and asked you to come to work, they are serving you. They built an opportunity for you to have a job. Remember a few years ago, everybody was complaining that there were no jobs? Now there's a ton of jobs and people just want to stay home and do nothing. What do you want? You wanted there to be jobs and you complained when there wasn't. Now there are jobs and you don't care. Service to others is imperative. Society crumbles without one another. Okay? We cannot move forward alone. Jesus had followers, for goodness sakes. Jesus had disciples that helped him. And he was perfect. And he still had helpers. So to think that we can go through this world devoid of one another, devoid of light, devoid of love, devoid of community, you're crazy. You're crazy. So that's my annoying moment of the week. Service to others is not an option. It's the only one. I'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. That was the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and it's the exclusive home of the Orange Dream. My spin on an orange creamsicle as a sundae or a shake. You can actually drink an orange creamsicle now? Yeah, you can. And it's at Carvel DeWitt exclusively. So go out and get it today. With that being said, we'll take a step aside. When we come back, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, featuring Juanita Ward, will be coming to you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Very much looking forward to having you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora after this fast break, and through this fast break as you hear from our fantastic partners in the community.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt is where you're listening, you're watching on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Always happy to have you here in our community and inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. You know that whether it's Central New York, upstate New York, the state of New York in general, the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and around the country, so happy to have you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And I thank you and don't even know what to say to know that we've had listeners and viewers from England and Germany and Italy, Spain, Mexico, Canada, China, Thank you to everybody that has been a part of the show. Thank you to people all over this country that have been a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I truly, honestly cannot thank you enough for the love, for the support, and for the time. You know, that's something that you can't get back. You can't get time back. And so the fact that you've spent time to listen to the show and be a part of it means the world to me. And this is one of my favorite segments because of what we get to do here in the community. I was talking to Juanita off the air about the fact that I believe that, you know, service to others it's not, and I said it before the break, it's not an option, it's the only one. And so with that being said, I bring in my partner for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is the acronym, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Miss Juanita Ward, how are we doing today?
Hey, Dan, what's going on, man?
I'm doing well. How are you? I love, you know, every time I hear you say, hey, Dan, what's going on, man? I hear that smile. I hear it, you know? So bring me into, you know, is it hard to smile on some days? Do you have your moments? What keeps you smiling?
You know, man, it's just a choice. It really is a choice, you know? And for me, you know, it's more of like, you know, I'm going to do this. This is like, I'm giving myself to God. You know, I am going to make myself continuously be joyful, be happy. Every day is not a good day, right? But every day is the perfect day. And, you know, I know that may sound weird to some. Every day is not a good day, but every day is the perfect day. And, you know, I just tend to be happy and joyful in every single day because I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful that God woke me up again today. I'm grateful that God has given me purpose. I am so grateful and so thankful because it could have been another way. You know, I get another day to get it right. I get another day to speak to someone. I get another day to, you know, do something nice for somebody. I get another day to just live and be happy and be glad and be grateful. And I get another day to just, you know, have joy, man. Like when I tell you I am extremely excited about life, I really am. You know, at the end of the day, things are going to go on in life. It's truly about how you handle things that go on in your life. It's truly about how your approach on what happens in life. And, you know, I just believe the word. The word says, this is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. I take it as a command. You know, when you get a command, what do? You take that and you actually, you do it, you know. I can't create anything that happened in this day, but I can adjust to some things that happen in this day. I didn't create this day. I just happened to wake up in this day. And you know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be joyful. I'm going to smile because I could be frowning about a lot of things. I could be down about a lot of things. There's so much going on in the world. And I just believe that, you know, if someone wakes up and give a little joy to impart into the world, that joy is going to come off of me and onto somebody else that may not be having such a good day. I will put myself aside and definitely to give to somebody else, to be a servant for someone else. I'll give them a smile. You know, they may not have seen a smile thus far. Maybe if they see my smile, maybe they'll know that God is truly real because he said it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. So that's why I smile, man. I am grateful. I am thankful. I am extremely thankful to God. I'm extremely thankful that he woke me up in this day to have purpose.
Yeah, you know, and you know, comedy is a big part of my life, and I'll do that in the car. You know, I'll go, woo, this day sucks, but I'm here. So, like, I was, you know, I'll look up at God and go, man, I don't get this. I don't know why this happened. You know, this frustrates, but I'm here. I'm here. And I know we've said it before on the show, and I said some people might think that I'm crazy when I say, hey, you are awake now to you know, you have the opportunity to complain. You don't have to complain, but you're alive to complain. You're alive to have that backache. You don't want that backache. You don't want to complain. You don't want to have somebody upset you. You don't want to have somebody cut you off in traffic. You don't want to have your boss be like that. You don't want to have your girlfriend be like that. You don't want to have your husband say that to you. But it happened, but you're alive for it to happen. Yeah, but Dan, I didn't like it. Yeah, but you're still here. You're still here. There's a million things I don't like, but they're better than being dead. They're better than not being here. They're better than me not having another breath. And that's today's topic, breathe. Another breath. Juanita, we breathe all the time. We don't think about breathing. It's just something that you do. It's just something you do. Yet, do we appreciate it? Do we appreciate every time we take that breath? Or are we taking that breath in between sentences of complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining? Because that doesn't get you anywhere. Talking about the problem doesn't solve the problem. It just makes more of a problem. Because now the problem exists, and now you're stressed out. Now you're anxious. Now your heart rate's up. Now your blood pressure's up. Now you got to go to the doctor. Breathing. Do we appreciate the breaths that we have? The fact that you are alive to have the problem. Nobody wants to have problems. But you're alive. You're here. Juanita, I'm going to say something might be crazy to listeners and viewers right now, but I feel like you can roll with me on this. Are you at a point in your life now where you don't want to ever have the problem, but when you get adversity, are you the type of person now that when like the problem's there, you almost get excited? Like, ooh, how are we going to do this, God? How are we going to get out of this pickle? Because I feel like it energizes me to have to elevate my game, to have to do that. I feel like when you're a true competitor, you almost enjoy that you get somebody else's best game. You almost enjoy that there's adversity because you get excited about it, right? Nobody would want to play a video game where it's easy to win and you just got to like jump up and down 3 times and you go from level 1 to level 10. So appreciating every breath and even appreciating the adversity may sound crazy, yet I feel like I get excited to solve problems, if that makes sense.
You know, adversity is never to break you. Adversity is never to tear you down to the point where you cannot get back up. When anyone encounters adversity, adversity should be to prune off of something in your life that's not supposed to be there. Anytime someone deals with something that is causing them a challenge or causing them to feel as though they are incapable of something, is never to make you feel that you are completely less of and you're so broken down that you can't get back up. Only a weak mind stays down, but the strength of the heart gets back up. What am I saying? If we know that breathing is not even a question and we do it without even thinking, that much so we should have in faith. Because we don't have to, tests and trials will come. Tests and trials will come. They are going to come. The word says this. James 1:12 says tests and trials will come. But those that will endure can reap a crown. So here's the thing. God knew that tests and trials were going to come our way. He knew that we're human. We are human. We are going to encounter some things. And it's not like we are like, literally seeds that are in the ground as if we are a tree. We are human. And so trees have to go through a metamorphosis process. And before a plant can come out of the ground, it must first die. So when it dies, then it sheds off layers that are not supposed to be on so that the layers that are inside of the core can birth forth its fruit. That may be a little too deep for some, but I'm telling you, it's rich in soil, it's rich in wisdom if you can grab a hold to it. So what am I saying? Before you can birth fruit, you have to die off the old layers. You have to shed off the old layers. The old layers birth forth new life. Births forth new life. Nobody likes to go through a rugged process. Nobody likes to go through the shedding of new layers. Our skin does not like to go through the shedding, right? So we have this thing where if we don't put on lotion or if we don't moisturize our bodies or we don't moisturize, right, all of a sudden we'll get cracks in our skin. Now our skin is saying, okay, look, because you hadn't been moisturizing me, because you hadn't been taking care of me, I have to go through a metamorphosis process so that I can burn off the old layer so that the old layer can shed off so that you can actually see new skin. That's what happens when a person has a scar. When the scar is trying to heal, when the wound is trying to heal, or the sore is trying to heal, it has to go through a process before it gets to its healing process, before it grows over its new skin. So what am I saying? It's essential to just breathe. It's essential to just have faith and believe. When you breathe without even thinking.
Yeah.
But as we stated earlier, there's always a message behind a message. There's always a story behind a story. So what am I saying? There's always a breath behind a breath. When you take that breath, don't take that breath in an entitlement mindset. Don't take that breath in an entitlement mindset, thinking that this breath is supposed to be given to you, thinking that this breath is supposed to be handed to you. Every single breath that you take comes with a metamorphosis. Every single breath that you take comes with a transformation. Every single breath that you take comes with something behind it. There's a communication level behind the breath that you take that's going to bear forth its fruit. How are you going to take your next breath?
Yeah. And you know, Juanita, as we're talking about the topic today in Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, we're talking about the topic of breathing, of just, you know, the importance of a breath. How about the irony of we breathe without thinking about it, we breathe naturally, but when you do think about, oh my gosh, I have to take a breath, we feel like we're going to hyperventilate. Can we speak to that and maybe the deeper meaning of that in life and what that can mean to like pull that into something truly you talk about the metamorphosis. Taking a breath is natural. Thinking about taking a breath is unnatural. And when we think about taking a breath, we almost take less of a breath, right? If I think right now, oh my gosh, I got to take a breath, it makes my body uncomfortable. So can we go into that and kind of the meaning behind that? We take a breath naturally. When we think about it, it becomes unnatural. So, you know, it's that paralleling of, you know, living life, appreciating life, going out there, doing the best we can. It should become natural to us to be a good person. It should become natural to us to serve. It should become natural to us to have faith. But that when we question, oh my gosh, we're taking a breath, I'm doing that, that when we allow our mind to overtake our heart, when we allow our mind to trick us, so to speak, we can even trick ourselves into feeling like we can't breathe. And I feel like that's got a physical importance in our life, but it also has a spiritual side to it as well.
You know, and it brings me to Peter, when Peter was on the boat. And Peter was on the boat, and all of a sudden he sees this shadow. And as he sees the shadow, he's looking beneath the fog, and he's looking really, 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 really deep into the darkness of the fog that's coming off of the water as him and his guys are on the boat traveling from one place to another place. And all of a sudden they start to see what seems to look like a ghost, but then they identify that it is Jesus that is walking on the water. And as Jesus is walking towards them, Jesus stops a little piece, and Peter looks through what he thought was a ghost, but he looks and he identifies that it is Jesus. And so Jesus reaches out his hand, and the most important thing that Jesus said was, he says, come. And so Peter steps out of the boat, but the other people in the boat was extremely terrified because they were going, what are you doing? Like, seriously, you're about to step outside of a boat that we are literally traveling on, and you're going to step outside of the boat? So when Jesus tells Peter to come, it was a command. It wasn't asking him. It wasn't trying to reason with him. He wasn't trying to, kind of see where he was. And he told him, he gave him a command. It was a period behind that. Come. That's basically saying Jesus made a statement for Peter to come. Without hesitation, without even thinking, as if Peter was just taking another breath, without Peter even looking at the real situation or really looking at what was happening, Peter literally steps out of the boat and starts walking on top of water. And as Peter is walking on top of water, Peter is looking straight ahead at Jesus because Jesus has his hand out saying, come. And Peter continuously to walk and walk and walk and walk. And then all of a sudden, Peter starts to identify, oh my God, I am walking on water. So then Peter sinks.
Yeah.
And as Peter is sinking, Jesus reaches down, lifts Peter up out of the water, helps Peter get back into the boat. And then Jesus gets into the boat. What am I saying here? Peter was walking on water as he was looking forward at Jesus. But when Peter took his eyes off of Jesus and started to realize what was actually going on, He started to look at everything around him. He started to look at the situations around him. He started to look at life differently because he took his eyes off of the main focus. He took his eyes off the main purpose. What am I saying again? When we start to take our eyes off the main purpose, we start to hyperventilate. We start to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, instead of saying, ah, thank you, thank you. And then keep it going, keep on going about our business. When we breathe, we're breathing without hesitation. We're breathing without thinking. We're breathing because we know that this breath that we have in our body is a gift. This breath that we have in our body comes with thankfulness. This breath that we have in our body comes with purpose. This breath that we have in our body comes with dedication. This breath that we have in our body comes with determination. This breath that we have in our body comes with an assignment. This breath that we have in our body is not given to us just for us to be entitled and just for us to think that we are supposed to have this breath in our body. Our body is not our own. It is the temple of the Lord. So what are we doing with our body? What are we doing with the breath that we take? The breath that we take gives off words. What are we doing with the words that we have coming from each breath? Or do we start to hesitate and do we start to hyperventilate? And once we hesitate and hyperventilate, now we take our eyes off the purpose and we start thinking about breathing. Well, once before you was just going as a flow. Yeah. Why now do you stop and take your eyes off of what was taking you step by step by step? Even in the midst of the problems, you are still being led. But once you take your eyes off the path and you start looking left at the woods, right at the woods, now your eyes are not focused on your journey. Your eyes now start to become focused on everything that's going on around you instead of your assignment. Your eyes start to wander off to somebody else's situations and problems instead of focusing on your assignment. Because if you keep your eyes on your assignment will give you a solution for somebody else. If you keep your eyes focused on what you have to do and where you have to go, now God can give you a download on how to, number one, help self so that self can help somebody else. That's part of being a servant. I've never seen a hurt person help a hurt person. What can a hurt person give to another hurt person? If both situations is spoiled, you can't do anything but continue to spoil the situation. But if you have a healed person trying to help a hurt person, now that healed person can tell that hurt person how to get out. That healed person can tell that hurt person how to value the next breath that they take. When a person is in the hospital and they are completely on their last breath, some of the last things that they say is, live each moment as if it is your last.
Mm-hmm. You know, and Juanita, that gave me chills. Because everybody tells you, live it like it's your last, right? Somebody gets cancer, man, I wish I lived better. Somebody loses a child, gotta live life like every moment's your last. We say it when it feels too late to say it. And not that it's ever too late, but I challenge myself and I challenge the world to not wait until it's almost over to say, man, I wish it wasn't over. Everybody comes back with that, live each moment like it's your last. But are we doing that? And when we go to a funeral and somebody grabs us and says that to us about their child that passed away, and they grab our arm and they look us in the eye, in that moment we feel it. We might cry in the car. And then what do? 3 days later? Back to life. Back to living each moment like I got 1,000,000 of them. And 1,000,000 more. And it's so easy. You know, I always think about 9/11 and people always put up the, we will never forget. We forgot. Oh, we forgot. We forgot. In a big way. And 21 years later, almost 21 years later, 20 and some change, we forgot. And I can see it in society. We don't care about each other like we used to. And that's, we're okay not being nice. We're okay not being responsible. And that's not okay. Live every moment like it's your last. People tell you that all the time. Gosh, life is so short. I had a cousin who just had a stroke. She'll never be the same again, is what I'm hearing. She may get this back, she may get that back, but she'll never be the same again. So whatever her last moment before that stroke was, that's the last moment that she was completely 100% mentally, physically herself. And now she may never have 100% function of one or the other. You get in a car and you think, I'm late, I gotta go, I gotta do this, you're on the phone, you're doing that, you're yelling, you're doing this, you're doing that. But at what point do you think, if I got hit by a bus right now, this may be the last moment I have my legs. This might be the last moment I speak. One of my best friends and somebody who is deeply connected to lead Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay owner and operator Jimmer Sikowski, a year ago, a little over a year ago, Jimmer was Jimmer, I was Dan. Then Jimmer told me that he was diagnosed with ALS. He's still Jimmer. I'm still Dan. But I'm sitting here going, he's in his 40s. He's got an entire life to live. And he may not be able to live it exactly how he lived it before. And I pray every day for a cure. And I pray every day that if there's not a cure, that there's at least something that can help him and Tim Green and other people that have ALS live with it and not have to die from it. But you think about that. The person directly connected to this segment of Lead 2 years ago, he's a Bills fan, he's a father, he's a husband, he owns and operates Chick-fil-A's, he loves helping people, he loves being in the community, he loves going out there and doing good things. And now, he loves all those things, and yet life has taught him every moment is precious. Every moment is precious. Why do we wait for a diagnosis to start to care? I commend Jimmer for being a tremendous human being well before that happened. But the warning label on our life reads, live every day like it's your last. How many of us read the label? How many of us read it? How many of us laugh at the Surgeon General and go, yeah, okay, it's not going to affect me? There's an end date on all of us. God's got an end date. In that refrigerator of life, everybody's got an end date. But do we ever read the Surgeon General warning? Live every day like it's your last. And when we read it, what do we do? Because I can promise you, I don't live every day like it's my last. This is a wake-up call for me right now. This conversation is a hello and good morning to me. Straight from God. Do we read the label on the box? And what are we going to do about that? Are we living every day like it counts? Or are we wasting time thinking we'll get it back? Why do we wait for tragedy to wake us up?
You know, Dan, it's it's something special about what you just said. Sometimes you have to pause in the moment because it's true. Every single breath that we take from this moment forward should be cherished. When you know better, you do better. And when you do better, you help other people to figure it out. Long-suffering, patience, kindness, love, joy. We have to know how to have each one. All of that is just one fruit, not fruits. It's just one fruit. And then that one fruit is so impactful And that one fruit of the Spirit is so impactful. And that one fruit of the Spirit is so impactful. What are we going to do with the breath that we take? Just breathe. Just breathe. You're going to be all right. Just breathe. Dan, I love you so much, man, and I appreciate this show. I appreciate all that you do. Don't ever stop believing. I will succeed. Don't ever stop believing. That next breath that you take, just breathe. Cherish that moment. Treasure that moment. Love that moment forever. Laugh. Let one of the things that you do warm someone's heart with that breath that you're taking. Let the words that come out of your mouth with that breath that you're taking be kind words, unique words, honorable words, happy words. Make memories with your breath. Don't just have it just to have it. Be thankful for what God has given you, because it comes with a sacrifice. That breath that you take, our body comes with a precious price that our son that some of our sons have to continue to see us. Some of our daughters have to continue to see us smile. So what are you going to do with that breath? It does come with the price. It does come with a precious, precious price. One in particular that I can think of is our Father giving his only begotten Son, Jesus, to die on the cross for us. And as we talked earlier about the last breath of someone that was persecuted and ridiculed and talked about and spit on, someone named Jesus that was completely beaten until he was undescribable. We're talking about Jesus. The last breath that he took, he used it to thank God for the people and the situation that caused you and I to be set free. And the last thing that he said was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And then he nodded his head, and that was the last thing that he said. What are we going to do with each and every breath that we take? If Jesus can be persecuted, can be ridiculed, can be spit on, can be beaten for our transgressions, for our sins, for our iniquities, for our way of thinking, we too can go a little bit further, because we're still here and we're still breathing. And we should be extremely, extremely thankful, extremely grateful. What are you going to do with the breath that you have? Just breathe. Just breathe.
That coming from Juanita Ward. Myself, Dan Tortora, here on Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Wow, that moved me. Jesus' last breath, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. His last words, his last breath was saying, God, don't be mad at my enemies. How many of us would say that in our last breath? How many of us would not only think of someone else, but think of those that wronged us and ask God to take care of them? How many of us are appreciating our breath, living in the moment, trusting in God, and having the faith that we say we do? How many of us are serving, helping, and even praying for those that don't care, don't want that service, and treat us poorly? How many of us are praying and thanking God for the good, let alone thanking Him for the not so good? How many of us could be on a cross and still have faith? God's not asking you to be nailed to a cross and have faith. God's asking you to have faith, standing on your own two legs, walking about your life in sunshine. Nobody will have as hard of a path as Jesus, and He believed. It would behoove us to do what He did, only a 16th as good. I know life doesn't seem easy, but compared to His life, every day is a blue sky. Juanita, thank you so much for opening this conversation up the way you did today. The tears in my eyes this morning are tears of grace and appreciation for my life. Thank you for all you do. Never stop believing. And I look forward to talking with you soon. And I am so grateful for the conversation that you helped me to have today.
Love you, man.
Take care. That coming from Miss Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. I can't thank Juanita enough. I really can't. I can't. I want to thank Tina for her words here that she's been writing in as well. Breathe with a purpose. Be intentional with each breath God graces us with, because at any time it could be our last. Questions are thought-provoking, soul-searching, and self-assessment. Appreciate that. So, I know it's hard. I know life isn't easy. I understand that. My dad just had surgery. My mom is having an operation done today. My dog, we believe, may have had a seizure, and she's on medication to be okay. I just talked about my cousin who had a stroke. My uncle is going through pain and daily goes through some type of pain neurologically. But I thought about that this morning. My uncle never gives up. My uncle said the pain never goes away. It's just what level it's at that day. He always feels it. But he gets up every day and he's excited and he's happy and he's grateful. He brought his wife on a date yesterday and they had a great time. My cousin is still trying, working, doing, attempting to move forward. My mom is stronger than she has ever given herself credit for. My dad walked out of that thing like, surgery, let's go. And my dog, kindest soul I know. So, it is hard. Life is not easy. But I'm surrounded by beings that never give up. And I have never given up. And I attribute that solely to the big guy. Because he sat with me in every trench. On the top of every mountain and at the bottom of every hole. God was there. What do you do with the breath that you have? What do you say? What do you think? How do you act? What do you do? Think about it. I don't want to go, oh man, I should have listened to those people that said live life like it was your last every day. I don't want to think, oh my goodness, I should have. I'm not a shoulda, woulda, coulda guy. I'm not a guy who even thinks about the word regret. And I am a person today that is self-assessing and soul-searching. And I'm excited about what I'm going to find. So with that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, I appreciate you all. I thank you all. And I look forward to talking with you after this fast break. On Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, They listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. From inside the Cafe Kubal studio, so proud to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And thank you for everybody that goes out to Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 401 South Salina Street, both in Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, minutes from the Dome, and of course at the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse for their drive-through location, and at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, where Rob Drummond and I were earlier this week. So I appreciate you all. Thank you all for heading out there and being a part of Cafe Kubal and letting them know that Wake Up Call sent you out their way and filled your cup up with your favorites. I got my mint chai, and I got to go out and get another chai probably today. I'm going to have to do it today. I got to try to figure out what time I'm going to do it, but I got a perfect... I always think about like my road when I'm going somewhere and I want to go to Cafe Kubal, which one's on my path. So I'm excited to do that today, and I'll have to shoot a little video and have some fun with that. So with that being said, we're all about surprises here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and it's time to get into the top dog of the week. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And I have two top dogs of this week. My first one, I have bamboozled into getting onto the phone, so it is my father. Dad, congratulations on being my top dog of the week.
Thank you.
So,
what did I do to become top dog of the week?
Well, today we've talked about service to others. We've talked about personal responsibility. We've talked about breathing, not waiting until your last breath to realize that you should appreciate every one of them. You've been through surgery. You've been through some adversity. And you came out of it positive, joking, and constantly moving forward. No, it's not fun. It's not easy. But with your arm in a sling, you're going to PT, you're working, you're getting back better, and you want to be the best that you can be. I think it's important in life to show the people that don't give up, the people that want to be here, the people that are fighting for something. And so today I wanted to congratulate you that though the road may not always be easy, you've been willing to take it, and you've done it with a smile.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
So, before I let you go, you told me before that you became a lawyer because you got to wear the white hat. You got to be someone that gets to help people. Service to others is something that I consider to be imperative. I don't consider it to be an option. I consider it to be the only one. Of everything that you've done and of wearing the white hat in society and providing service to others, what has it meant to you to care about total strangers, to look out for total strangers, and to have the responsibility and the desire and the want to serve other people and to actually go out and do it?
Well, for being a prosecutor for almost 42 years, it's been important to speak for the victims, especially in the job that I have now where I work for the state, and one of our responsibilities is to ensure that residents of nursing homes are kept safe and not abused or neglected or mistreated. And it's been very rewarding because there's really no voice for these people. Some of them don't have a memory. Some of them can't tell you what happened. Some of them don't have anybody other than, the strangers that work with them. And when they become victims, unfortunately, my office. So it's important. It's important to be a voice for those people.
And like you said, being a voice for people that don't have a memory, maybe of Alzheimer's, dementia, people that are in nursing homes, people that may not have any family that comes to see them or cares enough to call. When you become their family and become their representation and become really their voice, what has that meant to you at this chapter of your life to be in a place where, you know, you've evolved obviously as a prosecutor, and to be in a place now where you're not only helping your client, you're a part of their family, you may be their only family, and you may be the only person that cares enough to do anything about anything?
Well, you know, like I said, it's rewarding because you give them a voice. Unfortunately, in the years that I've been a prosecutor of nursing homes, I had to prosecute 2 workers in nursing homes for having raped elderly residents. One could actually testify to what had happened to her. Another one couldn't. But fortunately, there were people who were smart enough and quick enough to take the necessary steps to preserve evidence. And we were able to speak on her behalf and convict both of those. I'm going to use the word gentleman in a very loose sense. And both of them spent substantial time in prison. In fact, one I believe is still there.
And that coming from my dad, the white hat and working out there to do good in this world and to provide service to others and never giving up. Why don't you give up, Dad? Why, you know, you go through surgery, you go through another surgery. I believe you've had 7 altogether. Why keep moving forward? What are you fighting for?
Well, I it's not only what I'm fighting for, it's what I was taught. You know, my father and my mother instilled in me that, you know, you have to have respect for yourself. You have to have respect for others. And if you're going to go to work, my father said, if you're going to go to work and you don't put in a full day, you don't do your best, don't go. You know, and I've always lived by that. And, you know, I was told, you know, when I was in school, studying to become an attorney, don't ever think that you're better than anybody else, because you're not. And you treat people the way you want to be treated. And when you do that, you will be rewarded, and I have.
So that coming from my dad here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Half of our top dog of the week. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Dad, thank you for sharing your story and spending some time with us this morning, and keep fighting the good fight and know that I'm always by your side.
Thank you, bud.
I'll talk to you soon. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
See you. So, it's Top Dog of the Week time, folks. We're having some fun, and I told you that was only half. I got another Top Dog of the Week, and I love when people don't know what's coming. It's exciting for me, maybe not for them, but it's fun for me to be able to do this in the Top Dog of the Week special segment. So, always means a lot to me. So, in the Top Dog of the Week, I told you there were 2 this week. My other Top Dog of the Week, I like to call Deb. So, my Top Dog of the Week is my mom. Mother, how are you?
Good morning, Daniel. I'm just fine. Thank you. Thank you.
So, did you know that this was coming?
No.
So,
No, I'm answering the phone like, hey, Dan. And I'm like, wait a minute. He's still on the air and I'm listening to a show. I just heard your father and I'm like, okay. Yeah, why is he calling me?
yes. So, Mom, you're being honored as the Top Dog of the Week, and that is because, you know, of your fight. I know today got a little operation that we have to do, and we're going to get through it. We're going to have fun with it. we'll make some jokes, and I'm sure that we've always found comedy and positivity and faith to be important. So I wanted to honor you as the top dog of the week because I'm going to try to do this without crying. But I'm going to honor you as the top dog of the week this week because you have always been a top dog every week of my life. And even in the toughest times, and even when we don't agree, you have been a light. You've always established that I should have faith, that I should believe in God, that I should be myself, and that's who I am is good enough. And so on today's, that's better than good, I should say. And so on today's wake-up call, I want to honor you, Mom, to tell you that you are more than good enough. You are smarter than you think, stronger than you think, funnier than you think, cooler than you think, and you've become a mom to so many people around the planet. And I just want to tell you on a day where I know it may be a little stressful and there may be some adversity, that you've always taught me how to handle adversity with class. And so I want to honor you today as the top dog of the week.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. You are a one in a million, kiddo. That you are. So without crying, thank you.
And I can hear you walking around the house putting stuff away as you always do.
I do, yes. Yes, I am. Yep.
A mother who finally has learned how to sit down and actually watch a movie. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we'll see which one I watch later. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be a comedy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to laugh. So, I'm sure we'll get one in. Anyway.
Well, maybe I'll go and do Botox so that I can be scared and not be able to express it either. So.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. You can't express yourself. Yep.
Yeah. I can't feel my thigh. So we can do that together. I'd be like, just give me a little dose of Botox. My mom just had some teeth stuff done, and I wanna be able to not be able to drink water with her. So
with her, if she drools out her face, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'll just have to drink coffee through a straw, I guess, or rum and what is it? Rum and coconut? No, what do I drink? Rum and pineapple is my summer drink. So
yeah,
might have to be that through a straw today.
And what did Grandma always say? If you're gonna be crazy, and like, what would she say? Like, if you're not crazy if somebody else agrees with you, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she had many sayings. She had many crazy sayings, but yeah, that was one.
But I think, well, I know, Mom, that you have been such a light in so many lives, none brighter than mine, and I just am so proud of you, and I'm happy that you have always been a voice for the voiceless. You've always tried to help people, and I tell people, I just told somebody within the last couple days, I said, my mom is the type of person that if she had $5, she'd give you 6 and she'd have nothing. And you have always given of yourself. I don't know if there's a day goes by where you don't buy something for somebody, call somebody, send them a little message. You have spent every day of your life making an impact on somebody's life in some way. And so we talk about not waiting till your last breath to live every day like it's your last, live every breath like it's your last. Why do you help people? Why do you spend time every single day checking up on your son, seeing how your friends are doing, driving your neighbor's car around to make sure that it's okay, taking care of my dog, calling people that may not agree with you, may not think this, may not think that, but you always go outside yourself. You always reach out to people, even the people that you don't think would reach back out to you. Why do you do it?
Probably because it makes me happy, and I don't even think about it, Dan. And quote your father, because I just listened to his, and you want to treat people the way you'd want to be treated. So I do agree with that. I said amen to that. Actually, I commented on that, and I believe that what you give, you get back, and I'm happy. So why not share that with somebody else? It's been something I've been taught from when I was a young thing, and it's just something that I do. I don't know. I really don't know why I do it. I think it's in my nature. And, I mean, with you, of course, you're my son. You know, I always want to make sure you're okay and everything is good. And actually, sometimes I'll just call you for a laugh because something, even when you do the dad thing, I mean, how can I not laugh at that? I mean, I can be as mad as bad can be at something, and it doesn't matter. I don't sweat the small stuff or the small stuff anymore, Dan. I don't. That came with things I experienced in my past. About, what is it now, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, when that plane went down in Buffalo. So I think that being involved in that industry, and it just changed my life. But it went in a good way. So I just give because I guess I do, because I care.
You know, and I think, and honoring my mom here as top dog of the week as well on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You know, Mom, this, like you said, you know, the job that you have and being able to work in the airlines, you always had a dream, and it never died. And you did other jobs. You had me. You worked at a bunch of different places in a bunch of different pieces of society. Some you liked, some you didn't like, but you never gave up on your dream. And to achieve, I believe at 47, to achieve that dream, and now to look at 2 decades, to think about someone who never gave up on her dream from 18 years old to almost 3 decades later realizing the dream, and now for almost the amount of time that you waited for it, you spent almost that amount of time having it, 20 years of working in the airlines, just what it's meant to you to never give up on yourself, always bet on you, and then to finally get your wings, and now for 20 years to have established the fact that that dream you never gave up on is not only real, but you've spent a ton of your life doing it, and you've been able to touch so many lives by never giving up on yours, and that you can literally say today to me, to anyone, that a dream is never gone, and that you always kept that candle lit, and now you've got to say that you're going to be going toward your 20-year anniversary this year.
Right. Well, I think I've been fortunate, Daniel, that there's not many people in this world to get to live what their dream was, and I got to do mine. You know, I got to live mine. I got to fly to friendlies, and now I work for Delta, which it's such a fulfilling feeling when you take people from A to B. It's always been. As angry as they get with this lovely weather and cancellations and whatever, you always try to flip the script. You always try to do it. You try to win back that person. And I think that's how I look at it. When I get in those days where because we don't always have those peachy keen days, even though you got to have a smile on your face, you try to win that person over. You try to win them back. And I think that's always been part of my challenge to life. Everybody is not going to like me, and that's fine. You don't have to. That's okay. But as long as I know I live my life to my fullest and I try to be good to people, that's how I continue each day. And I think I've been fortunate to be able to say that I did earn my wings a few times over and would go back to it in a heartbeat. But I like my life right now. And I am working part-time. I am out right now on rest. I'm seasonal because I'm a seasonal employee, as you know. So I'm out on rest. I'm even enjoying that right now. But like I've told you, you know, you got a dream, live it. Go after it. Don't ever let anything stop you. Don't ever let anything stop you. Keep going. Because there's always something around the corner, and just be good to yourself and be good to other people. That's all.
And how do you, what were you going to say?
No, that's how I live my life. That's it.
And how do you appreciate each breath? And how do you make sure that you are living your life to the fullest?
I just treat people. I try to live by, you know, Dan, I try to live by, I think, God's word. Even though I don't preach it, I live it. You wanna treat people nicely. There is no reason. I don't care how angry you get, even when you're driving in the car, because you know me. I can have my anger at times. There's no reason to be mean to somebody. that person, you don't know what's going on, living that life in the skies, as a matter of fact. Those days, you have no idea. People aren't always going on vacation. They're going to bury their mother. They're going to take the ashes somewhere. You know, you never know what somebody's story is. So there's no reason to ever be angry or mean at somebody. Just take a breath. Take a breath. Step back. As I've always told you, step it back. You know what I mean? And take a breath and try to look at it. That's it. Tomorrow's another day. And you woke up today, right? You took a breath. You're here. My mother used to say that to me all the time. I'm here. I'm here. So I think that, you try to live by, God doesn't want you to be angry. There's no reason to do that. Yeah, you're going to have your days. Not everybody's happy all the time. So as I've told you in the past, sometimes I take a breath. Like today, I'm going in and I'm already starting to do my breathing. From 3 days ago, I'm trying to still do my breathing. But, because I'm having anxiety. So I just have to take a breath, relax. I listened to Juanita this morning, and I listened to you this morning, and I think it'll help me today. You don't think about taking a breath, but when you have to take a breath, you can't. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you said,
Yeah. You trust it.
Did I answer your question? That's the question.
You did.
Okay.
And for all the times that you've helped me, I will try to do my best to help you once or twice. I don't know if I can ever repay you for what you've done.
You're here, Daniel. The happiness of my life, and you know that.
So my final note with Deb is
Yeah, go ahead.
as the top dog of the week. I'll ask you this. Grandma, I believe, is always around.
Yeah.
And and whenever I would say, Grandma, don't go anywhere, where am I going? So Grandma's always around. She always shows herself. Right before you're supposed to have this operation today, a couple days ago, not once but twice Grandma's done this. A couple days ago, The Sound of Music, I didn't even know it was on, is on Disney Plus, and you watched it. Before that, I'm hanging out, and I was with Carrie, and I turned the TV on, and I called you, and I was like, Ma, Sound of Music's on, you gotta watch it. And it was right at the immediate beginning when she was in the hills. And right. So what can you say to the fact that Grandma continues to find her way to say, I love you, my girl. I got your back.
I know she's always with me. I guess the way I can put my head down at night on my pillow, because she took care of me while she was passing in her last years, as well as I took care of her. So The Sound of Music, my grandma always loved musicals. And I think the fact that she visits, because she does, times, the light will go on, or I did it the other day. I walked in the family room and the light went on. I go, hey, Mom, I don't even think about it anymore. I guess it was her, maybe because she couldn't hold a tune to save her life. But I think it's her way of, letting me know that she's out there singing or trying to, and to always keep that part of me. I think music is always good for the soul. Someone said that to me years and years and years ago, and that is the truth. You hear music, Sound of Music especially, I could watch it another 20 times. But she's visits, and she's probably singing to you too, and that's why we both connect at the same time, basically, to what's happening with Grandma. She's, because I took care of her, she still continues to take care of me. She definitely does.
That coming from my mom, honored as top dog of the week this week with my dad, and it's only fitting, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, to hear Lily one more time. So, Mom, I will see you very soon, And I just wanted to give you another pick-me-up to let you know I love you. You're the strongest person I know, and I know you got this.
Thank you, Dan. Yep, we always got each other's back, right?
Yep, we do.
I got this.
You got it.
I got this. All right, make sure you bring that lily pad with you.
I can't feel my feather. I'm so scared when I can't express it.
You can make me laugh now, Daniel. I don't know about later.
I'm just going to put a bunch of cotton balls in my mouth and do the Godfather the whole time.
That'll be good. Uh-huh. It'll be fun, I'm sure.
All right. All right, Mom.
I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you, honey.
All right, I love you. Talk to you soon.
Love you too. All right.
See ya.
Bye. Yeah.
That coming from my mom, the second half of the top dog of the week. So Mom and Dad make up my half moon for the top dog of the week. Yes, I call them half moons. It's what Lincourt Bakery calls it. The best bakery in the world. They're not black and whites. They're half moons. How dare New York City call them black and whites? Ridiculous. So, my half moon top dog of the week, Mom and Dad. Love you both. Show me every day how to fight. So, and fight fair. More important. So that being said, we'll take a step aside. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with an all-new Pacer Pride. As you know, wrapping up every week on Wake Up Call, we bring you the Marywood University Pacers with Pacer Pride exclusive conversations with Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy, as well as student athletes and coaches. Today, we get to hear from Miss Jen Carleton, Marywood women's basketball head coach, speaking on the team's success, growing together, adding 2 new players mid-season, recruiting, and more. Right after this fast break.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the Southern Tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every single time. Be it breakfast, lunch, or dinner, fantastic place for all types of food that you will not find anywhere else and not made this way. I've had margarita pizza. I've never had it like I've had it at Millhouse. I've had a meatball sandwich. I've never had it like I've had it at Millhouse. I've had chicken salad, and it's never been like I've had it at Millhouse. Their desserts are one of a kind as well. Their homemade breads. Everything at the Millhouse Market is mouth-watering. I truly can tell you without doubt that the Millhouse Market anywhere on this planet would be an asset to any community. We're just lucky that it's in our community, right here in central and upstate New York. 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there for their general store, drive-through pickup window, grab your food and go, as well as their indoor dining bistro menu, which changes every single week. The general store has local honeys and syrups, soaps, and all different pieces of our community, jewelry and whatnot that you can have that's them paying it forward by helping other local businesses get their name out there and their brands out there as well. The Millhouse Market, such a family atmosphere, such a warm atmosphere, and such a fantastic way to tell your tummy, I love you. Millhouse Market, 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every single time. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/live-now-dt. We are inside of the Cafe Cubal Studios, and it is the final piece of the week. You know that we always end the week strong with Pacer Pride, our exclusive content with Marywood University and our multimedia marketing partnership. And one of my favorite humans is Miss Jen Carleton. So I'm happy to have her here when it comes to the Marywood Pacers. You know that she has been a mainstay on the show from the day she got hired pretty much. So Miss Carleton, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Very excited to be here with you with some Pacer Pride to round out this week here on the end of January. And means so much to me to be able to do this with you. And I know that here in the new semester, you've had the opportunity to have some additions that we were talking about. And I'd love to start there with the women's basketball team.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we haven't been as successful in terms of wins and losses right now. But we're getting something really special going. And every day we walk into the gym is a new exciting day for us to get better and learn each other and, you know, just learn our tendencies. So that's what the last couple of weeks have kind of been about. And, you know, unfortunately we had a COVID shutdown for a little bit. So that kind of took away from our you know, progress, but we still did had other ways of learning each other and making ourselves better. So I'm just really proud of this group. I'm really proud of their resiliency, and also just the fact that they love it. They love it and they want to be around each other and they just want to get better and they believe. And I was telling a recruit the other day, like, sometimes you just need that belief to get you to where you want to go. And we have that. So I'm really excited about this group.
Where does this belief come from? Why do you feel like this team has the belief of where you want to go? Like you said, it may not be showing in the win-loss column yet, but you know that the team has that belief that you'll get there. What makes you believe that?
I think they just, you know, when a group gets it, they understand that, you know, we talked about it in the beginning of the year, you and I, about how we're going to measure success differently this year. It's not just about the wins and losses. It's about the other things. It's about them, you know, loving being around each other and taking our team to the next level and all those little things. And every possession and every pass in between means something. And this group just understands that the process is going to put us in line to be successful. And they're enjoying the process. And I think that that's where the belief comes from, because every day they believe they got better. And every day that they believe that we accomplished some kind of goal that day. And I think that every day that, you know, we've talked about it all the time, is celebrating the small victories. If we celebrate the small victories, a bunch of small victories come out to be something big, and that you weren't expecting it because you're proud of yourself for the little things. And I think that that's why we have this belief, is every day we are building on our belief and we're building on our confidence and we're building on our group chemistry. And when we win the day, it's a successful day, and we've won a bunch of days for us.
Yeah, and we did talk about that, going into this season, like you said, you thought obviously with you coming into this team a couple seasons ago, and you came right before the season, obviously weren't there to recruit and whatnot. Then you had the COVID shutdown last season. So now this is technically year 3, but really year 1, and we're still going through COVID. So it's still not even a traditional year. You have not had a normal season as a coach from the moment you've come to Marywood, which I'm sure has been challenging.
It's been challenging, but at this point, we were just rolling with the punches at this point. And you make best with what we have, and you make do with what you have. And there's no point of complaining. There's no point of setting yourself up to think about the past. Tomorrow is a new day. Today is a new opportunity. And I think this team really grasped that. And I love their energy every day. I love that that's their mentality every day. And we have a couple girls that are still out that haven't been able to practice with us for the last couple of days. And they text me every day, like, how's practice going? What's this or that? What's that? And we talk about it, and we're doing something new with our defense. And the girls were like, I'm so excited to learn it. I'm so excited to get back out there. Even though their presence isn't there, their energy is there. And I think that that's super important for a team to get better, even in these times when maybe you immediately can't be with them. But as long as they're being felt in other ways, we're getting better. And I know that they are.
What is it about the way that you coach that has invigorated this team? And, when you talk about it, like the team's been excited in the game against the University of Scranton, despite the loss. They said, hey, coach, in the second half, we played free. We played our basketball. We were just out there having fun, fundamentally doing the things that we need to do. You've talked repeatedly about signs and times where this team, this roster that you have at Marywood for women's basketball has shown you, these young women have shown you they care about each other. They want to be there. This matters to them. What are you doing that's creating this type of atmosphere? I know you're humble, but there has to be something coming from your coaching style and your personality, because I haven't heard that. That's not something that I was typically hearing at Marywood. It's like, oh my God, we're just having so much fun. We're doing it. We're getting fundamental. Like, it lifts my spirit to hear that team saying, hey, I'm excited. Why are they excited? What are you doing to bring positivity, I guess?
I don't think I'm feeding off of them, to be honest with you. In the beginning, it was what are your coaching style that invigorated them. I think that they invigorated me, and the way that they come across is, they're going to do whatever it takes to get themselves better and put ourselves in better positions. And the more they do that, and the more they do that as a whole, as a group, it's easy for me to allow them to be themselves and just kind of play off of that. And I'm a big believer in when you feel good, when you're confident, when you own what you're doing, you own every move, you own what you are, you're going to play the best you can possibly play. And this group knows who they are. We are we are a overlooked, we are a team that, no one thought we would be in a position that we can be successful, and maybe they still don't. And that's okay. That's okay with us. We're okay with accepting that their way of looking at us. We just know better. We know that we have something special coming along, and they love it, and they love the process. And like I said, you can't be a Division III athlete. You can't be an athlete in general in college if you don't believe in the process. And these girls believe in the process. And I think that our mental success, the success that we have in our heads, and our passionate ways about the way we go around practice and classes and all those things, it's because that they really truly do want what's best for all of us, and they believe in that. And there's nothing better than that. There's really nothing better.
Why do you think this team believes in you?
Because I let them be them. I let them be them. There's no restrictions. There's really no restrictions in terms of, all right, this is what I know. I understand what each of their qualities are, both off the court and on the court. And if you can put them in good situations for them to be successful individually while still feeling like we're all about a whole, that's where you get success, I think, as a coach. It's just making sure that all those gaps are filled and all those pieces are filled, and there's all the pieces of the puzzles are connecting with each other. But at the same time, sometimes it takes a couple missteps or missed pieces just to find the right way, and that's okay. And this group understands that the missteps are just part of the process. And we're filling along the gas. We brought 2 new players in, like we talked about earlier, for the second semester. And when I tell you, you have a team that is already kind of small to begin with, but your main players or your core or your returners, they're the ones getting a lot of the minutes. You would think there would be a little bit of a hesitation bringing 2 new players. And these girls were like, let's go, bring them in. If they want to play, if they want to work, if they want to get better, if they want to be part of something, a lot of fun, then let's go. But if not, there's somewhere else, So they're just very inviting and welcoming and just doing the little things to make us feel like a whole.
Speaking here with Jen Carleton inside of this edition of Pacer Pride, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, women's basketball head coach. Jen, let's talk about these players. I know we talked a little bit when they were coming in and the opportunity of having them come in, but now that you have them on the roster, on the team this semester, individually, I'd love for you to share who they are and what they bring to the table.
We have Abby McGee. She is a junior. She is a lefty point guard who is super athletic and can really just get us into offenses and help us out in terms of depth with Jade Rowland, who's our junior captain and one of our huge leaders on this team. But she can just bring a different dimension to our team, and I'm super excited about her defense. I'm excited about what she can bring overall, and I'm excited that she's loving the game again, and that's really important to me. And then we have Liv Chulo from right here in Old Forge. She is a transfer from Susquehanna. She came in second semester. And I think that she's going to be great for us. I think she's going to be someone that can provide depth and a little bit of height for us. She's also a freshman that we'll have for the next 3.5 years, and someone who can, bring us some overall energy that we might need to change up the way we play, or just, put a little wrench in some things. And I think that she's going to be a good rebounder for us. I think she's going to be a good scorer eventually for us. And I think that once everybody gets comfortable with new positions and new players and new plays and new, systems, I think that it's going to be a good thing. But that's going to take some time, and we're all about that. That's fine.
What is it about these 2 young women, about Abby and Liv, that made you feel like it was a step forward to have them come in during the season?
Well, obviously our numbers were low to begin with, like we said, and with COVID the way it is, and you never know what tomorrow will bring. Obviously, the number game in general was positive for us, but the fact that we have 2 Division III athletes have already kind of gone through what it takes to be an athlete, I think that's a lot. And I was so comfortable with it because I'm so comfortable with our team and how we've accepted people and how we're willing to, to take 2 steps back so we can take 5 steps forward eventually. And I think that's exactly what this team was willing to accept and embrace. And, you can't help your program unless your program wants to help themselves. And this team really wants to help themselves get better.
Yeah, and we look at, like you said, Liv Chulo coming from Susquehanna. Just what you could say about, that and the opportunity coming from the Landmark Conference, another good conference out there. Just what that means to you about maybe what she experienced at Susquehanna, maybe what she experienced in the Landmark, because obviously you're going to get tested, you're going to get pushed. And you and I both know Gabby Holko, who was at Marywood, who's over at Susquehanna, and we know that she expects the most out of each of the women on the team. So it's not that Liv wasn't pushed before she got to Marywood.
Definitely. I mean, and I know that's a big reason too. She came from a good program and a good coach who was getting the most out of her to begin with. So sometimes situations just don't work out, and that's not a knock on any 1, 2, or 3 people or whatever it is. It's just sometimes things just don't fit, like that puzzle piece, like we said. And we're super happy about someone who understands what it takes to battle and put themselves, obviously, the Landmark, like you said, and now coming into a situation where, we can compete for the championship. We can compete right away for a championship this year, and we're excited for that. And I know that Liv is as well. But both of them, very seasoned players, very mature players, and they're looking forward to new opportunities, obviously, but they're also looking forward to, playing this game with a new set of teammates and sisters. And I think that they're both embracing it pretty well.
When we spoke before the season started, you and I talked about anticipated adversity, having a shorter roster, and different things getting, and obviously not being able to play last season as many D3 schools did not play, to come into this season and to try and get things going and do things your way, still be building your culture and what your expectations are. You had anticipated adversity, and I'm looking at a record right now of just shy of 500, 5-7. I know that you'd love it to be 7-5 or better, to have it flip and whatnot, but you're 3-3 at home. You've won a game on the road. You're 1-1 on neutral ground. So to you, where is this team as far as where your expectations were? Because at 5-7, just a couple games below 500, I feel like maybe you could be getting ahead of where you had anticipated.
Yeah, I don't know if we anticipated anything like from the start in terms of like when we sat down, we said our team goals. Our team goals were to get better every day. Our team goals were to put ourselves in situations where we know that we're winning that day, we're winning that possession, we're winning the, those individual passes in between, all that, those kind of things. But looking at the system as a whole, or looking at where we are as a whole, I think we're pretty proud of where we are. And going into Christmas break, we were 500. Since then, we've had 2 conference games, one that we lost in overtime, and another one that we were right there with it up until, I think we were down 15 or 16 with 6 minutes left, and we cut it to 8 with 3 minutes left. So we were, we're putting ourselves in good situations, and we're getting better every day. So yes, I think the sky's the limit with this team. This team, like I said earlier, they believe in each other. They believe in themselves. They believe in what we're trying to do here. And our foundation is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you have that strong foundation and the belief, I think you're putting yourself in a good position to actually get those wins instead of just saying we won the mental battle. I think all of a sudden you're going to start seeing those W's show up a little bit more, just because how hard they're working and how much they believe in them in each other. And that's a great recipe right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and that's where you can't just look at a win-loss record and judge a coach, judge a program, because from our conversations going into the season, when we talked about, you knew, hey, we're going to grow, we're building, we're creating a culture. I haven't had a regular season. I'm still out there trying to have some type of regular style recruiting that's not Zoom, where I can go see somebody. So what you're building essentially feels like you're new. And as you're doing that, taking this short roster, knowing that you had to wait for Liv and Abby to come in this semester, to get to 5-7, and then get to, and to bring the girls in at this time here for just a couple games so far, to go through COVID protocol, to go through, games that, maybe you're going to have them, maybe you're not, things are getting moved, and everything else you've had to go through. I would say that looking at 5-7 for a coach that hasn't had a normal month since you got to Marywood says that you've already pushed. And the way that you've responded, we've talked about it. You lose a game, you bounce right back. You're not a team that's like, okay, we're going to lose 4 in a row. We're going to lose 5 in a row. We keep skidding. We're letting it beat us 100 times over. This team is excited you're telling me they're excited. They love each other. They want to be there with each other. They're open to additions. They know what they want to build. They're working together, and they're having fun. And even when they're going through tough times, even when they're going up a mountain, they're saying, hey, when we get up this mountain, how cool is it going to be to talk about that we got here? This team's attitude plus experience down the road, I would imagine, is going to be pretty special.
I 100% believe that too. And like I said, we're okay with being the underdogs. We're okay with being the team that people kind of skip over or look over, because we know that, we're not taking this for granted. We're not taking this entire journey for granted. And every second that we get to be together to get better is an opportunity for us to just, put more experience together, like you just said, and get those wins going. And I know that we will. I absolutely know that we will. There's not one doubt in my mind that we'll get it together, and we're putting that foundation, to test. And I think that we're doing a good job. I think the girls are really responding well. And as long as they keep having the thirst for knowledge and the willingness to kind of adjust things so they can see the overall, how much we're getting better overall. I think that's a good thing. So they're really very unselfish in terms of, I'm willing to take a step back or change my mentality a little bit for the overall good. And I think that's something that's very rare nowadays. And I really hope that we can reward them for that.
We talk about, before I let you go, we talk about numbers and how you obviously want to build this roster, but you said it before. I don't want to put bodies here just to have numbers. I need to have quality with every person that comes on here. I'll run with 9 if 9 is going to be my best. I'm not going to take 10, 11, 12, and 13 if they're not going to bring the same thing that I'm going to expect from these other 9. I need the entire roster to make sense for what I'm trying to do. Knowing that you have the space, knowing that you have the opportunities moving forward on the recruiting trail, how excited do you get that you have the wiggle room, you have the opportunity to really go out there and throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and say, hey, what sticks? What's working over here? What's working over there? And if something happens where you see somebody that maybe wasn't on the radar and you can bring them in because you have an opportunity to do so, you're a coach that has more real estate, so to speak. So how do you use that to your advantage?
I think just exactly what you just said. You have an open mind about everything, and you throw things to the wall, and if something sticks and it works for both ways, you can go with it. So I think having that opportunity, and not just I just don't want, like we talked about, I don't want to just throw a roster together and say, oh, this is where we're at. No, I want it to be something that we can kind of say, we did this for this reason, we did this, and it all works together. And if we have to take a back seat in a different way, or if we have to adjust in a different way, we will do so. But it's hard. It's not easy to have so many people on a team and make sure everybody is feeling as part of it as they should. So I think that making sure that you're picking the right group that works for you and that works for each other, and what works this year might not work in 3 years from now, just based off of who you brought in and how things work, and not just the system that you play, but also how those system of personalities and the system of overall in general, or what the climate of the world is, or how how we're adjusting to certain things. That might change. My philosophy about basketball might never change, but picking people to come into a team like this, that will change, and that all has a lot to do with everything around in your environment and what you're trying to do at that one moment. So right now, at this one moment, I'm trying to get quality basketball players, but more importantly, I'm trying to get quality basketball players that love the game and that love the game more than they love their individual stats, and that's where we're getting at right now. And you can see that with our team now, that they don't care about who gets the glory; they care about the W, or just getting ourselves better. And I think that, like I said, that's rare, and I'm very, very lucky to have them.
You mentioned the notion of, you want to put the right roster together and, kind of going with the times and whatnot, trying to understand what the climate is out there, but not losing who you are, your philosophy. We see teams like the LA Rams, right, that built to win now, and they give up their real estate. They give up all their draft picks and their future for the present. We see LeBron will go and buy a team and put it together to try and win right now in this moment. And then you see other teams like Phoenix and Utah that just slowly push and slowly build and slowly getting there. And so for you, how do you balance I want to bring somebody in to maybe help me immediately, but like you said, you want them to make sense this year and 3 years down the road. How do you balance I want to win now, and I also want to make sure this makes sense down the road, because there's factors that you can't control. So how do you balance that?
You don't focus on the wins right now. Like, you focus on the success. The success comes from other things. And if you bring in those kids, those players that want to help, that can help you now, but you also are building them within. It's not like, if you want to build something with someone, you don't light a fire beneath them, you build a fire within. Like, if we build that fire within our players, then that's going to push over for 2 or 3 years, and then 3 or 4 years if we need to. And then all of a sudden we're looking at a 7-8 year pattern, because the one kid that helped us out as a senior, who helped that freshman out, when the freshman's now a senior, and now we'll have a whole cycle of building that fire within and getting the most out of them, instead of putting them on a different hot seat. And I do believe that building something within them, putting confidence in everything they do off the court, on the court, is just going to help all of us later on. When they walk across the stage and they have that diploma in their hand, and they're all of a sudden their shoulders are back, and they realize they're entering the real world, but they're ready for the real world. That's that fire. That's what's exciting. That's what we're building, and that's what I hope that they'll remember throughout their time. But when they're professional, when they're married, when they have kids, when they're doing whatever they have to do, I hope they remember, that the process of where they got to, and how they.
Final note here with Jen Carleton: the recruiting trail right now. How would you describe it? What's it been like for you? and how have you been received as you're going out there?
Great. I mean, we're finally able to get back out there for the most part this year. Obviously, a couple more restrictions, but we're more visible than we have been in the last 2.5 years, and I think that we're putting ourselves in good positions for other people to realize our success and start to see some. Okay, I see her out on the trail. I see her this. Oh, I see Marywood starting to pick it up. I see where we are. Oh, they're at the top of their conference. Oh, they're above 500. All those little things. I think that they'll start to play into factors. But as of right now, we're just getting ourselves out there, putting a good name to what we're trying to do. And like I said, our team can help recruit themselves because they're all happy. And if you don't want your kid to be happy while playing the sport that they love, while getting a quality education, then maybe we aren't for you. But I promise you that they're going to enjoy themselves and they're really going to have a good time. And I think that the more that we put that out there, the more that we're us and very authentic, the more people will understand those things.
Yeah, New Jersey, PA, Maryland, around the world, obviously here in New York and beyond. Make sure that you're on the lookout for Jen Carleton and the Marywood University Pacers coming out and recruiting an area near you as they continue to work to build on what they've done this season, the successes they've had, and the positivity that's come from within this program, building the fire from the inside out. Jen, as always, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a part of Pacer Pride. And I'm always in your corner, hoping the best for you. And I look forward to coming out and seeing you very soon. And in the meantime, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep having fun. I could tell that you're excited, and that means a lot to me. So keep having fun in Marywood, representing my alma mater well, and I look forward to what's to come.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda. City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. This has felt like 2 weeks. It's felt like a long week because we've done so much this week. We had shows Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time in our normal slot here with Your Week, and then we were live at the Wildcat with Seamus Shanley, West Genesee and Syracuse football alum. We got to speak with him from walk-on to starter in the ACC on the offensive line. We, on Tuesday, did the live show in the morning from Cafe Kubal in Manlius with Rob Drummond, speaking on the local community, local business, local student-athletes, and supporting our community of Central and Upstate New York. And then on Wednesday, we also got ourselves out there and did some cool things out on social media and whatnot. And then Thursday, we went live from yesterday. We went live from Pizza Man with Beeville Bills backers president Jeff Cook to speak with you about Buffalo Bills history as well as the current season and the upcoming divisional round game against the Chiefs. So we had so much fun this week. There's so many things we got to do, so many ways we got involved in just connecting with the community, so many bonus shows. We've been, of course, at Pizza Man, at Wildcat Sports Pub, at Cafe Kubal, at Progressive Dental, at Avicoli's. So it's been a tremendous start to 2022, and I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you. Thank you to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver, a.k.a. the segment called Lead. And thank you for Juanita being my partner in this, and today talking about the importance of each breath and to breathe. Top Dog of the Week, My Mom and My Dad, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And this edition of Pacer Pride, speaking on Marywood University's recruiting in women's basketball, rising, adding 2 more players here in the new semester, and so much more, always. And those little victories, putting them all together so when the big victories come, you've already appreciated everything you've done to get there. So proud of each and every single one of those victories and of everything that Jen is doing to win off the court as well. Big shout out to all of you for listening and watching every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Facebook, and mixlr.com, all /wakeupcalldt. Of course, on wakeupcalldt.com. So we appreciate you listening live every Monday through Friday. And on Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. You can find Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and downloading, subscribing, and keeping us right there in your pocket and everywhere you go. Big shout out to all of our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Paz Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Progressive Dental, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, the Lemoyne College Dolphins, Millhouse Market, Honda City of Liverpool, Mother's Cupboard, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and PB&J's Lunchbox. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Dolphin time every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with fantastic specials airing right here exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So make sure you check us out every Wednesday at 9 a.m. live. First and third Wednesday, new episodes of AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, Dolphin Dive, where we dive into the stories of coaches, student athletes, and staff members of Lemoyne past, present, and future. So always appreciate talking with them and thank them so very much. You can get the entire archive on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by clicking subscribe and on wakeupcalldt.com on the Lemoyne tab. Find more information at lemoynedolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood University Pacers. It's Pacer Pride all month long and every single week to round out the week, like we just had with Jen Carleton. They're here with you on Fridays in special exclusive editions called Pacer Pride, bringing you into the stories of Executive Director of Athletics Pat Murphy, student athletes, and coaches at Marywood University. Make sure you're with us every single month right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University and those stories with your Pacers entitled Pacer Pride. Get the entire archive on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by clicking subscribe and by going to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. Find out more information at marywoodpacers.com. With that being said, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, be on it because I'm going to be active all weekend. Divisional round, Syracuse basketball, so many good things going on. At Wake Up Call DT on Facebook, at Call DT on the Twitter, and at Wake Up Call _DT on Instagram. And of course, God bless, no stress, do your best. This is Wake Up Call. We will talk to you soon. Thank you to my fantastic guests today, Juanita Ward, Jen Carleton, and of course, Dad and Mom. I love you. I'll talk with you soon. Be well. You got this.